Hi moms, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dana. I am a new mom, a mom of one. So just trying to navigate the mom life and see how it is. So welcome. This is a money talk. I usually have like different segments. So I have money talk, I have rants and stories, I have Montessori parenting, and just any other thing, mom cooks and all that. So this is money talk. Yeah, basically I thought about how hectic it is for a mom, or just not even a mom, new parents, to try and see if, first of all, like having a baby is affordable to begin with. Some pregnancies are obviously planned, so you know what you're in for, and then some are not planned, and then you panic because you're thinking, okay, this, I'm not ready for this and I can't afford it. So it's really not as expensive as you think it is. Having a baby in the long run is obviously expensive if you look at the grand scale of things, but like when you break it down, don't panic. Honestly, like you'll do it. And the cost I'm going to do is for pregnancy. Just when you find out you're pregnant, you're like, okay, now what? I can't afford this. So this is just a pregnancy cost between the time you find out you're pregnant, so say day 0, to the time you're giving birth, delivery. So yeah, so it's a 10-month duration cost, and I'll do another one for when newborn, so I can do 0 to 3 and then 3 to 6. So just break it down for you so you don't think it's really a hassle. The very, very important thing during your 10 months of pregnancy are your prenatal visits and the vitamins you'll need, and for yourself also you'll need new clothes if you won't be able to fit in yours. I remember I was a size 6 before being pregnant, and then moved to size God knows what, but I really literally couldn't fit in any of my clothes, even like the oversized t-shirts and the oversized shirts. I couldn't, so I had to get a whole new wardrobe. So yeah, so okay, we'll start with the prenatal visits. Okay, so the doctor's visits, normally there are many. So there's the between week 4 to, okay, this is between the time you find out you're pregnant to week 28. So that's a very crucial stage. Normally the visits at that time are once a month. It's a crucial stage because this is where the very vital organs are developing, and then anything can happen at that time. This is the time where miscarriages are prone to happen. This is just the time where you need to be very, very careful. If you're gonna be sick, mostly this is the time you would. So for us, we thought that like the 4 to 6, 28-week visits were very important. So it's once a month, but honestly, when we talked to our gynae, he was like, you don't need all that. You don't need all that. But you need to talk to your gynae to know, like, is it necessary? Obviously, if your pregnancy is complicated, then you need to do all the visits. But for us, I think between week 4 and 28, we only did 2 visits. Yeah, but ideally, you're supposed to do a visit a month. So that's maybe 4 visits. Yeah. And then now from week 28 to 36, that's the sort of like the honeymoon of pregnancy. It's not so bad. You're supposed to do twice a month visits. Honestly, okay, for us, like after the 28-week visit, like everything was fine, and the doctor was like, you really don't need to come in for any visits unless you want to, but it's not necessary. So yeah, between week 28 and 36, ideally you're supposed to do twice a month. We did probably just once. Okay, we did twice, but the second one was because we were doing a 3D scan, so we thought maybe it's good, since we're here, we might just go see the doctor. And then now the last one, the last 4 weeks, so between week 36 and 41, you need to go, your visits are every week. Yeah, and the reason why, it's because you're almost due and you need to make sure that everything is fine. So you don't want to have any complications that you didn't know about. So maybe you've been thinking, oh, this is a smooth pregnancy. It's very, very important that you go for your last visit. So I think for us at this stage, you probably just went once. Yeah, I think we went on the 38th week. Yeah, that was like our final visit. Yeah, and that's when we had all the talk about the induced labor. If you haven't watched my video, you can watch it. So that's when we had everything like planned. Okay, so for these doctor's visits, if you have insurance, obviously it's covered, so you don't have to worry about that. If you don't have insurance, it depends on the hospital you're going to, because consultation fee usually varies depending on the hospital, and the scan fee also varies depending on the hospital. So for this, I'll just talk about the doctor's visit. So for us, we were going to a private clinic, and we used to pay 4,000 for every visit. 4,000 Kenyan shillings. Okay, I just resigned from my workplace, so I didn't have insurance. And remember, you won't be covered for maternity if there's usually a grace period, so there's no way I would have gotten a new maternity cover. So I just had to go the cash way. Yeah, so again, like if you're planning on, this is for someone who's probably not planned, but if you are planning to, you should have gotten your maternity cover at the previous premium pay, so then you're covered during the next premium, so there's really no grace period. But yeah, if you're on insurance, this is all covered. Maybe you'd only pay a copay fee at the hospital, which is mostly sometimes usually between 500 and 1,000 shillings. But for us, as I've said, for our private clinic, we used to pay 4,000 for every visit. And if we'd have gone to the hospital, we'd have paid, I think, 2,000 Kenyan shillings. So, because it's the same guy now, because it's at the private clinic, you pay more compared to like going to his office. And the reason why it's that way, it's because at the office, at their main station, first of all, it's usually crowded. And then it's not as favorable as going to a private clinic. So you see, you're paying a premium fee for this premium service. Yeah. So you can obviously like eliminate all these extra fees. You can always just walk into the doctor's plaza and go to see your doctor over there instead of going to the private clinic. It will be half the fees. So for us, 4,000 per visit. We had so the initial visit, and then the 28-week visit, and then we had one in between, and then 36 and 38. So we had about 5 visits to the doctor, and we paid 4,000 each, so that's 20,000. And then, yeah, remember, you can pay way less or zero, and you can pay way more. So yeah, depends. And then for the prenatal, so normally hospitals have packages, so you can either choose to, or the reason why we didn't take the package for us, it's because we sat down and did our calculation, and like, we're not going to go for all these visits, so we might as well just pay as we go. Yeah, so normally, like I know for Nairobi Hospital, the prenatal package goes for between 40 and 60K. So let me read just what it includes. So the prenatal package, that's 60,000, has 6 antenatal visits, 2 postnatal visits after, if you've had a CS, so at week 2 and week 6, 1 neonatal baby visit. Normally you take your baby at 2 weeks, and then a prenatal investigation or lab test, and 2 ultrasounds. So 2 ultrasounds. Remember, you'd want to have more. So if you're going to have more, then you have to pay for yourself. So this only covers for 2 ultrasound and the lab tests. And then 1 postnatal visit by the doctor if you had a normal delivery, that's at 6 weeks. And then 1 physiotherapy session. So you can sit down and just do all this calculation. If you're not going to have all these visits, really, then just pay as you go for the hospital fees. But if you feel like you'd want to experience all this and more, then the packages are definitely way cheaper. Yeah, so different hospitals have different packages. So this, I just went to Nairobi Hospital because I feel like it's at the middle of the scale. Yeah. And then so for the scans, so remember, the package has the scans, and it only has 2 scans. So if you're not on the package, you'll pay for each scan. So at my hospital, I think the scan was, at the private clinic, the scan was 2,000 Kenyan shillings a scan. And then the 3D was 3,500. So we only had 1 3D scan, which was a fail anyway, because we weren't able to see what we wanted to see. We just saw the same things we did with the 2D. So in my head, I was like, really, the 3D scan is really not that important, honestly. So you can have normally there's the initial scan. So this is when you find out you're pregnant and you just want to go see, like, if really you're pregnant, or maybe if it's just where the embryo is positioned and all that. So there's the initial scan, it's very important. And then there's the anomaly scan, usually at 20 weeks. So at this point, you can even know the gender of the child if you want. And then there's the 36-week scan. So these are the 3 important scans. We just added 2 extra ones. We added 1 at the end and 1 in the middle for the 2D scan, but absolutely unnecessary. So for these 3 scans, if you're doing it at a private clinic, as I said, we did it for, say, on average 2.5, and then you can there's obviously a way cheaper one. There are clinics where you can get a scan for even as low as 500, and there are places where the scan is absolutely crazy. So it depends on what you want. But again, all these costs are absolutely avoidable. You don't have to. Our parents did it without scans. But then again, coming to think of it, there were so many complications back then. So maybe it's important that we have the scans, and it's important that you do the scan. So at least you know. Remember, life starts at conception. So you need to follow this life progress and see how your baby is doing. It's very important. So many lives have been saved because of the scans. So yeah. So as I've said, so 3 mandatory scans. So if say you're paying on average 2,000 each, so there you have 6,000 for the scans. See, it's not as crazy as it sounds really. Now, other than the important ones, so the doctor's visit and the scans, so you have the prenatal supplement. There are way cheaper ones and way more expensive ones. So I'd go with the average one. So the one I used was Pregnacare, the dual pack. It has 58 tablets. So the 58 tablets, it's supposed to last for a month, because it's 58 tablets. So 2 omega-3 and then the other ones. So it comes as a dual pack. So they usually last about 28 days. Okay, I'll just say on average, say a month. Yeah, so you need 10 of these for your entire pregnancy duration. You need 10 of them. You'll also need like the calciums. So a pack of the prenatal, a pack of the Pregnacare is usually about, the site I was buying it from was about 2,500. Yeah, so that's a pack. And calcium about 1,500. They're about. I'll put the exact figures here. So you do that times 10. Okay, that I feel like usually that's like really, really pricey, because you're going to have to buy that every month. But I don't say if you eat well then you wouldn't need it. It's just good to have it. But remember, you can get a cheaper option, you can get a more expensive option. So yeah, and then other than the prenatal care, you need, for people like me who completely, absolutely just blew up during pregnancy, you need maternity clothes. Okay, this is really, it depends on you and your taste and all that, your preference. So for me, I honestly didn't care. I just wanted something comfortable, something that's not going to make me feel like I want to throw up all the time. So the Deras go for what, 500 or so. So I had so many of those. And then leggings, I got leggings for like 500 each. I got like 5 of them. And then just so many tops. Like some tops I got for my mom. Some tops I went and bought. Some tops were dresses converted into tops. Like, you don't need to kill yourself for clothes. You can get your mom's clothes or just any other person. Remember, it's just a short period. So really, okay, so we get to the most, I think when people just hear I'm pregnant, the first thing in their head is, who is going to afford the delivery fee? Because they don't even think about all the other things. It's just, delivery is so expensive. Yeah, so the delivery fee. So I'd say it ranges between 0 and maybe 400. For us, we felt like a private at Nairobi Hospital, for about, usually the booking fee is about 150, so that's like the base fee. Like, that's affordable, that's, and practical. Like, really, it's just everything you want. You don't want all these extravagant things, and you're also fearing for the very cheap option. So you just want to be there in between. So I'd say with 90 to about, let me say 200, you can have a comfortable bath, a safe one. I'm not saying the other ones are not safe. So between 90 and 150 or 200, you're good. That's for a normal delivery. But for a CS, just anything above 200 to 50, then you'd be good. So you just need to budget yourself and plan yourself around that figure. It's usually crazy, but if you have honestly like 10 months to prepare for that day. So I think you can be fine. So I'll put the totals here. So I'll just put a range because, it's really all over the place. I'll put a range. And then now, yeah, I think basically those are the things you need. And then there are also all these other fees that we haven't talked about, which are very tiny, like food. You need to change your diet a little bit here and there. Transport, maybe going to the hospital visit, all that. It's really not as crazy as we make it look. But yeah, so that's the total for your delivery. On average, it can be crazy. Remember, anything can happen, so you also need to have extra money in case of anything. Life is so unpredictable, yeah. So that's just between 0 and the time you're giving birth. So next time I'll do between you taking your baby home and them turning 3 or thereabout. We'll do a cost for that. So it's good to just break it down so it looks manageable. You don't want to bombard your head with like all these figures. You don't want to tell yourself, oh, a baby is on average 100 million, and yet you're talking about 0 to like when they turn 18. So yeah, I'll do that, the breakdown. And then just let me know about the very, very cheap options that are very good, that are available out there, and also the very extremely expensive options but are worth it, so that you never know, maybe for baby number 2 I might want to try either of these 2 options. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and see you in my next episode. Bye.